Here in Dallas. My name is Greg Potter. I'm going to be your commentator tonight. Going to be running a solo one. Ben unfortunately could not make it tonight, so hopefully I get to do a lot of engagement with you guys in the chat. This is the final table of our $365 weekly Saturday tournament. Unlimited rebuys, and it is growing every single week. This week we've got 223 entrants and a total prize pool of almost 70 grand, and we're sitting at 16,000 up top. So this tournament is getting huge, and I think that is awesome to see this growing in every single week, seeing more and more of you in here every single day, and getting more money out of this tournament. First hand, bit of a nothing burger. We got Ben in the box tonight. See, I see some regs in the chat kept in under pairs. What's up, man? Got Ryan Crow in there as well. Nice to talk to you, sir.
We got a raise to 75K.
Charles waking up with pocket jacks under the gun. He's got a pretty good sized stack for being a final table. A little middling, but it's definitely better than a short stack. All right, and Charles is going to get no resistance with the pocket jacks. Not the worst outcome for that hand, as we all know. No right way to play them, except taking down the blinds free. A lot of faces I don't recognize on the final table, which I also think is awesome. Seeing more and more people come through here every day, different people. If you guys haven't done so already, do me a favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe if you are not. That way you can get access to all of the high stakes cash game and tournament poker content you could ever want. Robert G waking up in the +1 with King Queen offsuit.
80,000.
Going to raise it up to 80. Von B, very playable hand, Jack-10 suited. However, when Robert G opens up in the +1 and is committing so much of his stack, it's not unreasonable to let that go, even being a large stack. Surprised we didn't see a flop there, but you're facing a pretty strong range with somebody who is got a pretty low stack-to-pot ratio that can get it in on a lot of flops. Stephen Nichols, shout out to Greg P. My man dealt me some monster hands the other night. Glad to hear it, Mr. Nichols. We have an absolutely packed house out there tonight. We have 22 tables going last I checked. All cash games, and then the final table here running on the stage. It's been an absolute madhouse today. We've been running a high hand promotion, which we had started one, but we ramped it up real big this weekend. Every 30 minutes, there is a $300 high hand reward, and if it does not hit in those 30 minutes, it rolls over. People have really been enjoying it a lot. It's actually funny to see how much the game changes when people are trying to hit the high hand, because it's happening so often. I played that hand just to hit the high hand. I've heard that a lot today. But I'm glad to see everybody starting to flock to this place. Michael Tilden says, time to open a second TCH in Dallas. It certainly would help. And I don't think anyone would have any complaints about that.
Open it up a little bit.
Got the like goal there in the chats. 250 tonight. There's currently 122 of you in the chat. 122 of you watching, and we're sitting at 21 likes. I know you guys can do better than that. We'll get more people coming in as the tournament goes on. And we're seeing Vaughn wake up with the birds in +2. Going to raise it up 3x, pretty standard. Robert in the big blind, pocket 5s. Wondering if he should get it in with his hand. Does elect to flat and see a flop. Completely dominated right now, unbeknownst to him.
Heads up, guys.
King, Jack, Jack. Not the flop Robert G was looking for by any means.
All in.
Robert Vaughn immediately puts them all in. Yeah, that's the expected result a lot of the time there with that hand, unfortunately. Sucks when you wake up with a pair in a tournament and you run into aces, but he didn't lose his whole stack, so credit to him for that. Texify, is this the final table of the tournament? Yes, it is the final table here.
We're up to 20, 40, 40.
Almost 70,000 went into the prize pool. First place sitting at 16,200. Monster tournament, 20K guarantee, but that may as well mean for first place here not too long. We're getting more and more people coming every single day. AJ King Jack and +3.
Maybe a raise.
Maybe a raise.
Up to 80K.
80,000. Everybody kind of got a bunch of nothing in between. A lot of short stacks at this table as well. So going to see a lot of folding. Unfortunately, a lot of hands are just trying to find one to get it in good with. Corey going to let the ace-6 go in the big blind. Not unreasonable by any means. He's a medium-sized stack. Not really a hand that there's much reason to defend, though he did. He was slightly ahead of King Jack offsuit there. Vaughn B, very playable hand under the gun. Suited ace of the Broadway variety. Gonna raise it up. Oh man, and P Fox just gonna rip it with pocket 9s. Perfectly reasonable with a stack like this. Even at a final table, this hand is far too strong to not just get it in with now. Robert G on the button. King Jack offsuit makes a good fold.
Everyone's just dead silent. I get it. You want the short stack to buzz. I get it.
And Shane, pocket 8s in the big blind. Oh no. Big stack. Might call one off to try and bink a set. However, with Vaughn behind him, it's kind of rough when you flat call here and your opponent ships it over top of you to get it heads up. That's pretty rough. He's got to decide. Basically, he's deciding now if he wants to stack off with pocket 8s. Fortunately, he's well behind in this situation, drawing to exactly a set. But he deems it good enough for a call. Oh, excuse me. Did he raise? Is he raising to isolate? Oh my gosh. This is actually an awesome play with pocket 8s here. Putting a massive pressure on the under the gun stack here. Once you raise under the gun, you get jammed on, and then you get 4-bet, cold 4-bet over it. That's a pretty rough situation. Well played by Mr. Shane, and P Fox getting it in here. Let's see, going to a run out. Shane pretty far behind, unfortunately. On the turn, drawing to 2 outs. No help to come for the pocket 8s. P Fox is going to double up clean with a little extra sweetener, plus 345K.
I didn't want a strong ace after all.
Oh no, and it's unfortunate that Ace Jack did in fact fold the best hand there. But as played, I don't think folding Ace Jack there is unreasonable by any means. You got to have quite a read to get it in that light. AJ, pocket 8s. Medium stack here. Can make a pretty standard open. Oh my gosh, P. Fox picks up pocket 9s 2 hands in a row against pocket 8s. What? No way. Robert G, pocket 10s. Oh my gosh, they're just crushed. Robert G, luckily for P. Fox, Robert G is also a short stack. Slightly shorter than his, so he covers both opponents. And wow, AJ folds the pocket 8s. So interesting to see those two hands played so differently, back to back. And it was correct to do so each time in the tournament. Awesome.
All right, guys, 9 and 10. Still 1, 2, 1.
And here we go. Ben gonna run these out. No help to the 8 or the 9s, excuse me. 9 on the turn. Oh my God, there was one out in the deck. There was one out in the entire deck for that. Oh my God. Pocket 10s getting cracked spectacularly by the 9s. The case 9 coming on the turn to fill up Mr. P. Fox. Gonna give him a pretty close to double up, full double up. Now a major contender in the final table. One of the largest 3 stacks after that hand.
Sorry, Cooper.
Michael Ramble, $20 super chat. Thanks, bud. AJ, everyone back at West Texas Card House is watching. Kick some major butt. Good luck. Thank you.
All right. 1 hour penalty. For sure.
And I'll be out.
We'll just blind you out. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
We got it. Don't worry.
1
We'll
hour
blind you out.
penalty. That'd be so sick.
All right. 40 to come in. Call 40.
P. Fox, best hand in the deck. Limps in with the pocket 7s. Gonna see what develops behind him before getting in too heavy with him. It looks like David B. flatting ace-9 offsuits. It's okay to start limping pocket pairs here on the final table, as you don't want to get 3-bet a lot. You don't want to be forced to play with most of your stack. Interesting that David B. didn't just ship it here. If he was going to go with ace-9, it's pretty risky to just call and see a flop, and that way you're sitting so short. But he does take it down with just a raise.
That's true. You will.
But it'll be too late.
Ohio must be P. Fox's day. Yeah, that's he's running good so far. That can all change very quickly. Oh my God, he wakes up another pair under the gun. Does elect to let go of the pocket 6s. They're too weak to get it in there this early, to open up this early in a final table scenario. Now that you have a big stack, you don't want to start punting it off, seeing a bunch of flops, and slowly chipping down. Vaughn on the button, open up 8-7 offsuits, trying to steal the blinds. Unfortunately, I think he didn't quite put out enough chips for a min click. TJ ace-jack offsuit, very jammable hand here. Mr. Tejas, this guy registered late today, saw him playing at the cash game tables, wondering why he wasn't playing, and we see him here on the final table, so congrats to that. Faded most of the field for that. All in, ships it in with 325K. AJ, TJ v. AJ. Going to fold the ace-10 there, pretty standard. And Vaughn just going to let it go, pretty easy fold there. Definitely just trying to make a move on the blinds and put pressure on him. Can't fault him for doing that. Matt Evans, what was the buy-in for this tournament? $365. And it is an unlimited re-entry tournament. It used to be single re-entry, but we said that's not fun enough, and allow everyone to buy in as much as they would like. Thus, I believe, the growing size of the prize pool. A lot more action, a lot more players showing up and buying multiple times. So if you guys are interested, come down to TCH on Saturday starting at 11 and get in this monster of a tournament. If you make it to the final table, you get to hear me talk about your hands. Corey S, ace 10 suited, raising that up to 100K. Shane pocket fives here. Big stack, lets him go, I like it. Opening from +2. Too much action behind you. People could rip it over top of you with a short stack, and you are forced to fold the fives to almost any action. But Corey just going to take it down. Right now with the ace-10 suited, not the worst result by any means. Captain Underpair is asking about Mr. Ryan Crow. Ryan Crow is the owner of TCH, sir.
What's that?
Big old ace.
You've been getting a lot of those today.
Raise up to 100.
Shane, big stack in the +2, opening up ace-10 offsuit. Probably near the bottom of an opening range here, but looks like he's getting no resistance. That's definitely a result you like to see with ace-10 offsuit with final tournament implications, final tournament table implications.
Cards are definitely not the normal ones. Still get used to it.
Yeah, the RFID cards are, if you guys heard Ben, they're a lot different to deal. They're a lot heavier, a lot heftier, and we'll get back to that in a minute. AJ's got pocket queens in the cutoff. Going to raise it up to 100,000 here, 2.5. See if anybody's got anything to fight back with. Unfortunately not. No love for the ladies. But it's definitely better than getting called by ace-2 offsuit and losing 2 or 3 outer. Shane, let's go with the ace-6 suited. Von B, worst suited 6, going to let that go as well. Not unreasonable. Big stacks don't have too much incentive to get in there too often with players behind. Facing all those short stacks that could easily jam over you with a hand that you're going to have to fold.
Absolute wizard.
And it's better to let some of the medium stacks then bust out the short ones. They can fight over the ones in the middle. Obviously, if you have a strong enough hand, you want to be the one busting out the short stacks, taking the ladder up as well as the chip up and not letting the medium stacks get even closer to being able to stack you. Corey S. in the big blind going to raise it up over the small blind there with 4 or 5 offsuits and take it down right now over the limb. Four 3 offsuit, not good for the raise in the blinds. And Shane going to get on an actual walk here, not a Ben Kirby walk. Not the worst result by any means. sitting in the big blind, picking up half another blind. Oh, we got 299 of you in the chat now. That's awesome. Love to see you guys all checking out the Saturday stream. Ryan Crow stuck in the airport. Sorry to hear that, man.
We're up to 100,000. Cool.
Luckily, your flight's not that long. Ace Queen going to take it down pre-flop. Here, no resistance. Mateus Philippe, how much is for first? Right now it is sitting at $16,200. The guarantee was $20,000. We nearly punched right through that. I think it's inevitable. We're going to have to raise the guarantee again. May as well say guaranteed for first at some point in the future. Captain Enterbear is giving us a shout out for the poker cruise. Appreciate that. And I happen to agree with him, Ryan. For those of you that don't know, next year in March, we are going to be taking a poker cruise on Liberty of the Seas. There is more info about that on our page. I don't know it off the top of my head, but we are having a full poker room on the cruise the entire several days that it is out. So definitely come along for that one. Should be a grand old time. Wow, pocket tens here pre-flop. Looks like they limped in, and Vaughn and TJ both saw flop with him. Any bet's gonna get it done, y'all. TJ, nothing but Jack 4, Jack high, and Charles actually taking it down with the best hand. Goes for a little bit of thin value there on the turn. Once that flop checks through, it's clear that nobody is too interested in it, and it's not going to be that way often in a limp battle.
That's why you're a wizard.
Yeah. You're going to be a sick person to angle in Dallas. It's a little wild down here. All right.
Thomas Rainier says, can't wait to go on the cruise. I'm sure we'll see you out there, man. Check it out on TCH.com. P. Fox, King 9 suited under the gun. Very playable hand. Seeing a lot of the short stacks behind. Maybe he thinks he won't get jammed on too often. Opening this hand up. Vaughn be on the button. Gonna let it go. I think P. Fox is representing a stronger range than his hand shows here. Maybe he sees the tables a little bit more fold happy than usual and takes it down with a little bit of aggression.
That one was for sure.
Voyage Mod. RFID cards heavier? Yeah, they're quite a bit heavier, a little bit wider too. Stockier, really, is the word. And it's pretty much the same to pitch them, but it's definitely different than typical playing cards.
Need a shot.
Quinn Taylor, $4.99 super chat. Thank you for the kind words. Greg's running cold because he has to cool off with how hot he is with or without the beard. Thank you. Frankly, I agree. Vaughn gonna open it up. The pocket nines in the cutoff. We get a lot in the comments on the fact I don't have my beard anymore. I look real baby-faced. I was called an infant. That was interesting. I guess I look that much younger without it.
Raise it up to 100,000.
Corey S. opening up the pocket fives here. His stack is probably just large enough that this is just fine to be a little bit aggressive with a pair here pre-flop. Folds all the way around to Charles in the big blind. Just going to let it go. No reason for him to see a flop here. Jack 7 offsuit with a medium stack. It's unfortunate we're not seeing too much action going on, but this is the way of final tournaments most of the time. And the deck hasn't been helping either, so.
Thank you very much. Sugar. Thank you. Thank you.
Vaughn B opening up ace king suited here. Big slick in the +2. David B, short stack, ripping it in. King, queen, offsuit, unfortunately, completely dominated here. We are going to a flop. David B well behind, but that doesn't mean much in tournaments. We all know just how frustrating it is to bad beat someone here when you get to see all 5 cards. You realize all of your equity when you get it all in. So he's going to win 25% of the time. No help on the flop. Ace king high still going to take it from now. Drawing to exactly a queen. 2 outs in the deck. And they do not come. Ace king going to bust out Mr. Vaughn here. Busting out in 8th place. Going to take home $1,950. Not a bad day for a $365 buy-in. The house is packed, y'all. I said it earlier, but every table is full. We even got extra tables out in the front lobby. Jam-packed in this place. It's been this way all day since about noon or so. You guys are loving all the poker, and we are happy to give it to you. Got a high hand promotion going. Every 30 minutes, $300 with a rollover effect. If you do not hit the high hand in those 30 minutes, it rolls over. So potentially after a couple rollovers, you could hit a spicy pots with the high hand. The biggest one I saw today, I think, was 1,200. TJ laughing. Maybe he's been card dead a little while, a little too long. Thomas Renier says, Greg, did you deal a tournament today? I did. Quite a few tables, in fact. P. Fox opening up 8, queen 8 offsuit in the cutoff. Just trying to get it done with some aggression, raw aggression here. It seems to be doing the job most of the time. Not this time, though. Corey S. flatting in the big blind with Jack 10 offsuits. Perfectly defensible hand. They're both deep enough. I think we can see a flop. 10 in the door. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I thought there were suits involved. Not really, unfortunately. P. Fox whiffing pretty hard. Corey well ahead here, second pair. However, he's going to take it down with raw aggression. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it looked like he folded. Oh, my gosh, he sucks out. Oh, my gosh. Corey S. with the straight. P. Fox turning a pair of queens. Corey S. going to donk in here. Jamming it all in, not wanting to let his opponent check it back. Doesn't want the board to get any scarier. Trying to target ace X and 2 pair there. I actually like the play.
Ace Jack even better.
Ben votes says 2 open seats. This is a tournament. I would love to be able to just walk up and sit down on this final table. We got monster payouts on it.
Can't lie on stream.
Can't lie on stream. You guys heard it. You're not allowed. Vaughn, the big stack, ace-8 suited. Going to limp in under the gun. Kikoamai, Hawaii in the house. Thanks for tuning in all the way to Dallas, Texas. All from the islands. Corey S. getting in there. Limping in. Half a blind. His cards are suited. Why not? Let's see a flop. Interesting board. Backdoor diamonds and a gutter ball for Corey. Shane drawing to runner ace-4 or trip 4s. Or 5 as well. But gets out of the way. To a bet out here from Corey. Vaughn coming along. Ace-8, top pair, best kicker. No reason for him to go anywhere yet. King on the turn. Goes check, check here. Jack on the end, bringing in backdoor clubs, giving Vaughn the check mark and Corey nothing but 10 high in a dream, but that's not going to stop him. Board got scary. Opponent a checked flop, or checked the turn, excuse me. And Vaughn actually in a annoying spots, but I do like his decision or potential decision to make a call here. He did give Corey a free card there. Wow, crying call on the end. Corey says 10 high, bud. Oh my goodness, what a call there by Vaughn B. Going to get a $330,000 chip up.
Kind of put you on a bluff a little bit.
You lied to me.
Interesting. That right there was a very good call with the pocket 8s. Excuse me, with the ace-8s. Jason Britt, what's up, commentators? I'll be moving down there in a couple weeks to be a reg. Sold my house. Closed on Monday. Loved it down there. See y'all soon. Right back at you, man. Hope to see you coming through. Getting part of all the crazy action there is here at TCH Dallas. We got an action printing machine going on full blast in the back room. Pez says too small bet there. Yeah, I would say if you really wanted to get the job done and you thought something like a king or a jack was good when you turned it, you could rip it there. That looks pretty bluffy though a lot of times, but I've seen crazier. TJ under the gun opens up. King 9 suited. We've seen that opened twice now under the gun. Corey on the button, defending. Not deterred even a little bit. And Vaughn stuck in the middle, Jack 7 offsuit. Definitely not good enough for a call, and I think he agrees.
Still can't call. To me, it's just 20 more thousand, but it's really not. It's 60 more.
I've only got 40 in the bottom. The big blind Indy is just solid. I mean, if we were running a regular, you know, without the big blind Indy.
Wow, pretty big flop for Corey here. Ace high flush draw, bottom pair. Well ahead of TJ, drawing to a queen. He's got gutter ball outs. He has pair outs. So he's not completely, utterly dead, but it is not looking good for him. He does have the betting lead. I do like his decision to check, though. This board hits your opponent a lot more often than it hits you when he flats on the button, as we're seeing. And Corey actually going to bet out here. Nearly half of his full oh, he's putting TJ all in. I didn't realize TJ was so short. That's a rough spot to be in. You got to really put your opponent on stone nothing, calling with king high. But he did just see Corey S. run a huge bluff with 10-4 suited, so maybe he's thinking it's not impossible for him to have 9-8 here.
I'm 71.
Just a flush draw, low card flush draw.
Before I was playing poker in Vietnam. So.
You win. All right, blinds are going up next hand, 25, 50.
You guys heard it. Blinds up next hand. TJ really wondering if he can call it off here. Elects to let it go. Fortunately, I do think that is the right decision most of the time. Sucks when you put in a hefty chunk of your stack, and you see it pushed away from you in a final table situation.
25, 50, 50, you guys. Yep. Yes, sir.
57 likes now. Clicking them on up. The like goal tonight was 250. 341 of you in the chat. That's more than 250 last time I checked. Do us a favor, hit like and subscribe if you aren't already. You can keep up with us here at TCH Dallas. AJ getting a very appropriate hand. The offsuit variety. Going to raise it up, definitely good enough, even under the gun. Roughly quarter of his stack. Charles now, ace-queen offsuits. Very surprised we didn't see a jam there. He covers AJ. Ace-queen is good, I think, just enough that it could have gone as a jam. But however, we are going to call here and see a flop. Whiffs, both players. AJ, though, betting lead. Knows that this board is definitely not going to hit his opponent too often. And wow, we're seeing Charles rip it in with ace-queen offsuit here on this flop. That right there, awesome. Bluffing with the best hand. You love to see it. Slow played ace-queen pre. Solid flop says you shouldn't touch that board either, buddy. Takes the risk and ships it over top, taking down a decent-sized pot. Jumping Jehoshaphat, got a jam ace-queen there at those stack sizes. Yeah, I agree. But I think as played, he did get a little extra value there. Ace-jack may not have called off for a jam. But of course, that's all in hindsight.
50,000 fine chips. No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Oh, I was talking about bumping him.
Oh, got it. 50,000. Got a raise. That's a 130. That's right.
Corey S, 2 hooks in the hijack. Vaughn, king, queen. Big stack on the button. Going to flatten and see a flop in position here. I think, honestly, this is the right play, unless you want to go for an aggressive 3 bets. But even though stacks are deep, people aren't going to be opening up too wide, so flatting and seeing a flop and getting a king in the window. Corey S, unfortunately, well out flopped by Vaughn here, and Vaughn straight shipping it. Says, wake up with something or fold, bud. Let's play for all of it. Corey S, in a rough spot here with jacks. How often does your opponent bluff here? Oh, man, look at that. Letting him go, lays him down.
For me?
And Vaughn going to take down this pot right now.
Well, I'm going to try my best not to.
Cooper just told me the 9-10 that I hit.
Well, you see it on the
10-10.
replay, you'll see it was the best hand. Had a big king.
Yeah, they're talking about the 1-outer now.
Someone else, yeah, someone pulled it.
It's 1-9 in the entire deck. That's running good if I've ever heard it. It's drawn to 2% on the last card. I think it was on the turn. It was on the turn. Drawing to not very much on the turn. And spikes it for some clean double ups. Corey S, king 10 suited and +1. I think you can kind of go either way with this hand. If there are a lot of short stacks behind you, you can definitely let her go more often than not. TJ here, pocket eights, short stack. Got to get it in sometime. This is about as good as it's going to get pre-flop. And he's going to ship it in there. Very standard, I think. Pocket eights. Corey S only has to call 30,000 more in chips. 30,000 more in chips. And we're going to a pure flip here.
160. So 30,000.
And we are running it out. TJ ahead, but only by a tiny margin.
King
Let's see what the flop brings us. Lay it out there for us, Ben. No help. 8 still holding up now. Good to see no king, no 10 on the flop. 6 on the turn. And king on the river. Oh my gosh. Corey S. going to take it down. TJ eliminated there on the end. Oh, the river. You love to see it, you hate to see it.
Do it. I folded a king.
TJ going to be knocked out of the tournament, taking 7th place and $2,425. I'm sure not the result he hoped for, but the result he got. Congratulations. By no means a bad day of poker. Regular on final tables here, Mr. TJ. Congrats again.
Yeah, I think you don't like.
That's what my energy is saying.
Shots fired.
I can respect that.
Shots fired.
I love a good challenge. Well, this game is a game of skill too.
Must not been that good.
It's gonna be a raise up to 125.
Let's see here. Corey S. going to open it up under the gun. Wheel ace. Vaughn B. called in the middle. P. Fox flats in the small blind. And Charles not coming along in the big blind. Perfectly reasonable. No need to commit that much of your, or really any more chips when you're seeing a flop 4 ways. Not the worst flop for pocket 7s. Corey S. with the nut flush draw.
200K is a bit.
And Vaughn going to bet out here. Very comfortable here with a pair on a paired board. P. Fox, nothing. And a player in between. Nothing but backdoor hearts anyway. Lets it go. Corey, I don't think he can go anywhere just yet. It's fine to flats. It's fine to raise here. 7 on the turn. And oh my gosh, Vaughn boated up. He has got the check mark. Ships it in. Corey not going to see the last card. Wouldn't be crazy to check that back
Felt the 7 coming.
and let the diamonds bink on the river or give your opponent a little more of an opportunity here. But by no fault, he ships it in, trying to get the max from any Jack X holdings. And he felt that 7 coming, y'all. He felt it. Heard it from him, from his mouth.
Y'all's energy is tangling with each other. I don't know what's going on with this energy, but I know it's the two of you guys.
Oh, good dope. 50,000.
Sorry about that.
All my gold. Take it down.
Reyes taking it down in the big blind.
I'll be able to turn.
Does anyone know what happened to Texas baseball game? Mississippi State, Texas. Yeah, the home run. The home run in the rain. That was sick.
Basketball game right now. Shelby's playing, but
Is that the College World Series?
Yeah. Texas is in the losers bracket. They beat Mississippi State last night. They played them again tonight. I just thought they won.
69.
Well, it was like the
Sashi Gaming or Stacks always so short on the final table of this weekly tourney. Yeah, you still end up most of the time going to the final table with anywhere from 15 to 25, 30 big blinds if you got a big stack. Just the way of the blind structure. AJ gonna rip it. King 9 offsuit in the hijack. Getting in short. P Fox comes over the top. Big slick of diamonds. Corey utterly dominated diamonds. Lets her go. And Shane, no reason to get in there with 7 high. We are seeing 5 cards, ladies and gentlemen. P Fox well ahead here. AJ drawing to exactly a 9 or maybe some straight outs. Nope. Straight also completes for Ace King. There we go. Queen on the flop. Still drawing to exactly a 9 here. No help on the end. P Fox gonna take out yet another player passing the chips. AJ couldn't get much further. but he cashed out in 6 for $3,150. Not a bad day at the office.
Just over $1 million. Right at $1 million.
TT and Jordan P for 2-5. TCHLive.
Corey has pocket 6s on the button. I think this is a great spot to just ship it in. Blinds aren't going to show up too often, and it just guarantees that you take them down right now. And as we're seeing, neither player had too much. However, I can understand not wanting to risk your entire tournament life and all your ladder up potentials on pocket 6s. Does, in fact, let it go. Same results either way, with Corey picking up the blinds.
Had a horrible hand. I couldn't even try to bluff with that hand.
AKAQ, Chris, Ed, Peter, and Antonio W. for 1-2.
I'll surrender 100, no problem.
Appreciate that.
Tyler's in my ear.
Can he tell you what? Who won?
411 watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you just got here, this is the final table
Cultural Series. The game should be over.
of the Saturday $365 buy-in tournaments. We run this tournament every week. Unlimited re-entries. Buy as many times as you so choose. Jump into host fed. So this starts at 11 a.m. That's not a bad run time to be down for these 2-3 for these payouts.
Antonio W. Antonio W.
Yeah, it's pretty good tournament, honestly. But probably the most popular of the ones we offer, as seen by how many participants there are. 223 of them this time. Grows every single week, which we'd love to see. Yeah, down to 5 right now on the stream. You're probably looking at it on Poker Atlas 15 minutes ago, maybe.
Mississippi 143.
Where's the clock? You can see the clock on Poker Atlas on the Dallas, Texas Card House page if you would like. Just remember we are on a 15-minute delay here, so that clock is happening in real time. I am commentating on the 15-minute delay. So things may not be exactly the same. Von B opening up Jack 10 suited on the button. P Fox, Queen Jack offsuit in the small blind. P Fox is going to shove here. I like this decision the most if he's going to play the Queen Jack offsuits. Knows Vaughn's a big stack, might be feeling good after winning a couple hands. Open it up a little bit lighter, and P Fox wants to see 5 cards. And if Vaughn does in fact not have much here opening on the button, he's going to just have to fold, and P Fox going to pick up some extra value with no run out. Though I'm sure he'd like to see this one, as though Vaughn is suited, P Fox is well in the lead now. Going to make the call. And Von B says what I'm thinking. He's got him crushed, but that doesn't mean much in tournaments. Just to realize all of it. King on the flop. No help to Jack 10, drawing to exactly a 10 now. P Fox tournament life on the line. 10 on the river. Wow. That is disgusting. We have seen that twice now on the river. Drawing to a 3-outer. We've seen a 1-outer. If you guys wanted some action here, we're seeing it at TCHLive in Dallas. Sorry, P Fox, you made a good run. You played well. Sometimes the deck does not do it for you. Cashing out here in 5th place with $4,225. Damn good run. You beat out 219 other players, so congrats to you. And you're going to take down a nice chunk of cheddar. for your efforts today. JT in 1968 in the chat. Nice meeting you when you came through this week, sir. And I do, in fact, deal crazy hands, always. I'm a soul crusher. Pez's tournaments are heartbreakers. They sure are. That's pretty heartbreaking. We've seen some real sick coolers here, but that's what happens when you're getting it in pre-flop and both players get to realize 100% of their equity. Even if they're drawing very thin. I was told by super producer Cooper, stack sizes also look short because we're always coloring up as much as possible to speed things up for the stream. We don't want to have to count out a ton of chips. So the stacks look small. You're not going to see the gigantic mountains of chips that are sometimes at final tables in a tournament because we color up the chips constantly. Ski. Humberto here got rivered. Yep. Corey S. going to take it down from the small blind, opening it up over the big blind, says, wake up with something or get out of my pot, sir.
Had it ready to go.
We're down to 4 here at this final table. Charles going to let the 9-6 suited go. Corey S. Same hand, suited this time on the button. So it's good enough for a raise. Trying to take down the blinds right now. Von B suited queen, giant stack. I actually think this is a good decision to call here. Going heads up, you're often ahead of a button opening range just having a queen in your hand. You have to play out of position, but if you spike a pair, you can comfortably get it in. Maybe not that one. Deuce on the bottom. Corey, top pair, heart draw. Absolutely monster of a hand. And Vaughn does the correct thing, lets it go while he was well behind. No reason he couldn't see a flop there with a suited queen. There's no hourly for the tournament, but the buy-in includes all of the fees for the tournament. Jumper Joseph at hell of an hourly if you final table. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Stellan, can you tell us chip counts? They are listed right there next to their names as it folds around, as the action folds around. Vaughn, king queen offsuit in the small blind, makes a pretty standard open over the big blind. Not bluffing this time. And taking it down right now.
2 paint cards.
Non-paint card. Not connected, not suited.
Von B trying to see as many flops as he can in position. See if he can potentially stack some of these shorter stacks well ahead of the rest of the field at the moment. After taking down Pete Fox. Whiff board for both players. Vaughn ahead with queen high. I think it's going to go check here. Full diamond board. Diamond turn. Corey S. now with an 8 high flush. Going to try and squeeze out some value from maybe a king or something like pocket queens that was maybe trying to slow play pre. Got to put out a bet there for sure. Why don't we use shuffle machines? They're expensive, and dealers get the job done just fine. Some speedy dealers here. Ben's one of them. Got Jay Nick, Kevin, all these guys that come on the stream. Tom, Travis. They don't need no damn shuffler. Corey in the small blind, maybe debating going for a little bit of a move here. 3 deuce offsuit. The skinny does in fact let it go, and Shane, good fold there with the 3 deuce. I think Shane could have defended pretty often there. Queen 10 suited. And the skinny is well behind that. Kept under pairs. The dealers are machines. Damn right, sir. And yeah, Pez, I agree. The nostalgia that goes along with a hand shuffle feels more real. A lot of people just inherently don't trust robots or, you know, mechanical anything. They'd rather see another human being do it. So there's just a good feeling about it. And our shuffle method is tried and true. Gets the deck well randomized. The shufflers break, man. Dealers' hands don't break, at least not from dealing. Shane going to get it done in the small blind. Going for it this time. 6 deuce. Suits. And just so y'all know, not really allowed to have people on the stage while we're streaming. It's just fine to look over over the ropes there. But usually a good idea to just let the floor do his job. And then watch later here on TCH Live on that 15-minute delay. Likes only sitting at 99. Guys, let's pump those up a little bit. We've seen plenty of action here tonight at the final table. Sometimes final tables can be a snooze fest. These are not. We've seen 1-outers. We've seen 3-outers. We've seen 2-outers. How much more brutal does it get? How much more can you ask for? And what do you people want from us? I know you guys are liking it because you're watching it. So click that little button. Corey S. might try and make another move here in the blind, but instead elects to limp in with the offsuit gapper. 10 high, dominating Shane here currently. But as we know, things change after the flop. Maybe not this time. Corey S. checks his 8 over. That's second pair. Shane, gutter ball, backdoor clubs. A lot of turn cards he likes to see. And if he can take the pot down right now, that's also just fine. Corey's not going to connect with him too often, but he's got to have something when he flats this flop. Could be some spade draws. Could be a pair. 10 on the end. Corey S. 2 pair. Much more comfortable at his hand now. However, no value to be had, I don't think, from Shane. And is going to let go of the 9 high. Humberto sold me on the like. I'm glad I could do TCH a service. Got your likes, bud. Go one more for me, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I know you can make it happen. How about the best hand holding up once or twice to keep the justice alive? Variance doesn't care about justice. This game is as ice cold as it gets. There is no justice in poker. I agree. Zuparov, can they chop? Yeah, a lot of times these tournaments will end up chopping. However, if even one person disagrees, there is no negotiation for a chop. I personally don't chop tournaments often. Maybe if it's for a lot of money. Which that may just be to some people. We might see some discussion of it as we lose maybe 1 or 2 people. Austin Edwards says, why only 1 deck and not 2? We have 2 decks. There's one in that little center console there. I don't think Ben has switched it just yet. Jason Britz getting all-in Fold'em, or yeah, an all-in or Fold'em tournament going. Yeah, that sounds pretty wacky. I'm sure that would be a good time to do one weekend maybe. It's not a bad idea. Chad AK, what is VPIP? Voluntarily put in pot. Means how many times they voluntarily put something in the pots, chip-wise. Charles King Deuce offsuit in the small blind, good enough for a raise. Pretty strong looking line whenever you commit so much of your stack. But Corey may interpret this as weakness and decide to go for it with the skinny once again. Unlikely, but it's possible. He's looking at the stack sizes. Makes the correct decision. Let's go with the dominated deuce. And we're going on to the next one. Christian Carlin, it's way too early to discuss the chop. Yeah, normally it doesn't happen until the last 1, 2, or 3 players. And if you made it this far, you definitely want to try and go for some bigger money. Chip up a little bit. A lot of things can change in just a few hands. So there's no shame in seeing a few more. Not always in your favor, though, as I'm sure many people know.
You'll see on the feed.
You'll see on the feed. What a statement. Corey limping in small blind. Shane going to stack on 2 more chips for a raise to 250,000. Definitely not crazy by any means. King 10 offsuit from the big blind facing a limp. I think could go either way. You're fine taking it down right now, but you can check. Realize a lot of your equity and see a flop in position, maybe squeaking out more value later on. But taking it down right now over an aggressive player, not crazy by any means. When did this tournament start? It started at 11 a.m. Central. So in just under 12 hours, someone could potentially have made $16,000 and 200 additional dollars.
Crazy.
People are too nice toward the end near a chop. Yeah, That is definitely the peer pressure is real, man. And a lot of people, especially if you have like a gigantic stack, you know, the ICM chop's not terrible. You still get most of what you would have won. The only way I typically like to chop is if you do a big ICM chop for like 75% of it and then play for the remaining 25%. That way, first place has the potential to win even more money if he stacks the others, but everyone guarantees a nice payout then. It's a little bit lighter. Everybody knows that they're going home with X amount of money. Does this happen every Saturday? It's a monthly thing. Every Saturday, man. This place is packed to the gills. It's like a sardine can. But we get as many of you in here as possible to enjoy all this poker action, and this runs every single Saturday, 365 buy-in tournament. Yeah, taking off the top is like, no. That's the one I like the least. That's the one I would be least likely to agree to if I was at a final table for a chop. It's like absolutely not. Let's not shave off the top and give to the people that unfortunately bubbled. Sucks when you bubble, but it's part of it, and someone's got to be the bubble. I have bubbled, or nearly bubbled, all 3 big tournaments that we've had here at TCH. So that's been fun. I know a lot about bubbles. Von B raised it up here in the small blind. We're seeing a lot of small blind aggression towards the big, which I like. I like it a lot. Charles not deeming the queen 6 offsuits good enough for a call. $365 each rebuy. Vaughn, big stack, very playable hand. What's the odds of an invite to co-commentate? You can talk to our floors, and we usually like to do a little bit of a vetting process. But I'm sure if you inquire aggressively enough, you can at least talk to somebody about it. Charles ace-6 offsuits in the small blind. Looks like he's going to make the flat call. Corey S in the big. Suited cards, but not very close together. Lets him go. Ace-6 on the flop. Clubs here for Vaughn. I think this is going to go ship, snap call. And here we go. Running it down. Well behind Mr. Vaughn, but he's got outs. He's got runner, runner, 2 pair. He's got runner, runner, straight. He has front door flush outs. Still a mountain of equity. Let's go. 10 on the turn. No hope for the ace-6 unless he draws to an ace or a 6. And unfortunately, wow, even King Queen makes a straight too. Vaughn going to take out Mr. Charles here.
No way. Aces up? You can't. Never.
Takes him down. And of course, nope, you cannot lay aces up there in any situation when you are that short at a final table. And you don't fault King Queen suited for taking the aggressive route, trying to take it down right then with King High, with plenty of outs as we saw happen in real time. Cashing out for $5,665 in 4th place. Pretty damn good payout. Got it in good. What else can you do? I think every all-in has been a bad beat. I don't think the hand that is quote-unquote supposed to win has lost once yet. And it looks like they're discussing a chop now, or getting close to it.
I'm asking him.
What's the chip count right now?
They're trying to figure out a chop right now.
1.4.
We are going to deal out the next hand, but it seems negotiations are still going. We don't want to hold up the game and tick up the antes and the blinds too much by discussing a chop because we're not often going to pause the clock for it. So you can discuss it as we play through the hands. More than welcome to.
Call 16. Big blind.
He's good with that. Are you good with that, buddy?
Whiff for both
Are
players.
you okay with that?
What does it leave it at?
I think anyone who takes
If we all took 10,000,
an aggressive line here is going to win this pot. Still trying to talk about a chop. Goes check, check. Deuce on the turn. Changes nothing. Check, check once again. King on the end, giving Shane the check mark. Didn't need it. Didn't need the pair, but it looks like Corey S. maybe going to try and rep a king here. Razor thin value. Love to see that. Bink to king. Bink to king.
We're still probably going to end up winning this out. We're probably going to have everyone sit at 10,000. And it's like
It's like 5,000. So right now there's 35,070 left. Correct. If you all took 10K right now, there'd be 5,070 left.
And we might see a chop, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm good with that. Are you? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. We're all good for that, right?
That's actually not a terrible deal. I think even I might take that, sitting in first place. First place getting 15,070. Second and third getting 10 grand. Second takes a little bit of a hit. Over third gets a nice rebound there. So whoever's got the shortest stack now, definitely getting the best end of that deal. Nice round numbers. I like it. But they are, in fact, going to play some outs. Going three ways to a flop, we could potentially see the end of the tournament right here. Give me a queen, deuce four flop. Queen for Shane. Vaughn under pair, drawing to one card. Corey S. backdoor clubs.
125.
And quite a bit of heart here. Going to try and take it down now. Shane calls that. Pretty standard. 9 on the turn. Changes nothing. Corey's probably going to give up here the majority of the time. Picked up no additional equity on the turn. Didn't get it done with the one and done. 5 on the end. Changes nothing at all. And Shane once again going for some value here on the end. Shows top pair. Made a good fold, sir. I'm going to pick up an additional 305,000 chips. Chipping up. You love to see it. Maybe not if you're Corey, but part of the game. Looks like that was unfortunate as a missed deal. Man, Corey having pocket 8, Shane with ace 8 suited. That, I think, would have been 2 all-ins.
Oh, man, you killed me.
But it happens. RFID cards can be a little sticky at times, and as I said, they're a little tough to deal if you're not used to them. So mistakes happen. Not a big deal. Everyone seems to be in good spirits about it.
All right, 60 to go.
468 of you. That's a pretty good turnout for our Saturday tournament. Glad to see some new chatters here. Streaming in. Shane opened up King 10, gets called by a dominating king here. Corey, the third king in the big blind, suited though. Comes along. King on the flop, I think it all goes in. Come on, Case King one time, Ben. Case King one time. Does not come. Top pair for Shane, backdoor spades for Corey. Vaughn 2 overs, and Shane going to value bet top picker, good kicker. And he's going to take it down right now. Chipping up once again, running good right there at the end. You'd love to see that. Corey waking up with 2 kings, putting out a interestingly timed bet there. Looks like he puts in the raise, going to take it down right now. Whenever you're facing some final table implications, not crazy to check with a hand that strong and go heads up to a flop with a hand that you very, very likely dominate. If there's one place to slow play kings, it might just be in the small blind. Shane going to just bet out here after completely whiffing the board. And then misread that. Shane, going to take down the pot there with the bets on a monotone board. I don't believe a chop was agreed to. There's that second deck for you. Knew what happened eventually. Ah, I see. Yeah, they just restructured the payouts. They didn't actually chop it up just yet. First place going to take 15, and second and third taking 10,000. I did not realize that they just changed the structure.
Take your time going, but hear it back. What? Take your time going, but hear it back.
I'm just gonna step right over here.
Oh, I thought you were going to rest.
We're good to go. Can I get you guys IDs because we're going to need them for the payouts, tax forms, and all that stuff.
Jet 10 going to take that one down.
Yeah, it's $5. It's $5. I mean, we're not taxing the payout. It's just we have to report it. So your guys going to fill them in.
Here's some of that tax question answers for you.
Your social security numbers on there too.
Greetings from Brazil.
All these.
Nice to see you, Mateus. Thanks for tuning in to our Saturday night live stream. Corey, pocket eights. Getting him for real this time. Going to ship it right over Shane here in the big blind. Just be careful about showing cards in tournaments, guys. If you haven't looked yet, you want to do the peel one at a time thing. That may result in a penalty or a dismissal of your cards. Just be careful. King Tech suited small blind. Shane with a big stack. Pretty easy open. I think this hand definitely benefits from some folds. So the raise here is probably more standard. And Vaughn, biggest stack, calling 9-5 suited. These two guys don't want to get involved with each other too much. Diamonds for Shane. Big hand and nothing but 9 high for Mr. Vaughn. 4 on the turn. No help to anybody. Shane now going to take a small stab at it here with his flush draw. Thinking king high could even be good sometimes. Vaughn, nothing but 9 high here. Drawing to pair outs.
What do you got behind?
Ask him what he's got behind. Is Vaughn gonna do something insane here? Folds it, lets it go. That's usually not the question you love hearing when you're on a decent draw. How much you got behind? Scary, scary talk here at the final table. David, where's your other half, Greg? I don't know. I feel so empty without Ben Kirby here. I feel like less of a man. But I'm sure he is doing his fatherly duty or got held up in some other way. No problem. I can handle it on my own.
Man, I thought I was going to get a walk. I ain't got a walk from you all day.
Not a complete walk.
Corey S. going to raise up the 7-3 suited over a limp. I think this would qualify as a bluff, though he is well ahead of his opponent. Takes it down right now. The wife of Miss Corey in here, or Mr. Corey in here. Nice to see he's got some supports. He's played well thus far, man. You can be proud. And he's made it to the final 3 of our 365 weekly tournament. 20K guarantee, but we smashed right through that. Nowhere near enough. 223 entrants. Almost $70,000 in the prize pool, and until the recent chop, it was $16,200 up top. They're playing for big money here. Philippe, this tournament started at 11 a.m. Central Time, so we have been going for now exactly 12 hours. Corey has Kington suited, natural open. Fonby in the big blind says, let's go, all in. Corey has a very callable hand here, final table. But Vaughn still ahead by just a little tiny bit. And Corey going to fold out. Going to basically a flip there with the suited king. And of course he said, I've got an ace, sir. Let's play for all of it right now. He folded when he was behind. A lot of equity, but still behind, so Made the right fold in the moment.
You want me to double up this?
Shane kind of ragged here on the button. Big stack, no reason to get in there with this. Not when you see Vaughn and Corey trying to stack off with each other. Let them have at it.
I'm gonna let you on. I got a monster.
Mateus has Kington suited shove pre. You could potentially do that.
Do what?
And man, Corey getting the walk there, unfortunately. King Queen suited. Monster of a hand.
So they hadn't done too bad for me yet. The most amount I lost was off of you over there.
I don't know what hand you're talking.
You clipped me hard. You clipped me hard. I had to literally go back down.
Yeah, I agree about the open shoving. It stops your opponents from doing that with middling hands like offsuit aces. But it's a tough spot for sure. Vaughn, pocket sixes now on the button, running good. Gonna raise it up here. 250K. Corey, Jack 5 offsuit, not good enough. Shane gonna see a flop, Jack 9. Basically another flip here. Vaughn ahead by a squirt. Wow, what a big flop for Shane. Gutter ball, diamond draw. Vaughn has pocket sixes, but this is gonna check through. 6 on the turn, set for Vaughn. Shane might actually take a stab at this now, but I think, wow, and Vaughn going to ship it there completely as expected, shows it. Maybe could have tried to squeak a little bit of value from an exact hand like Jack 9 or maybe top pair that checked the diamond flop. Yeah, another diamond would have been some action for sure. Shane, very playable hand, small blind. I think this hand is kind of stuck in the middle. I think you can go either way, but definitely benefits from a lot of folds here. So I like the decision to raise it up. Start building a pot against your opponent whenever they do call either behind or you suck out and hit a big hand. Oh my goodness, Nick from Yuma. I was wondering, I was like, is this gonna be the first? The first one that NFY is not in here. Hit that like button for me, bud, and anyone else who is not already. 406 of you, only 129 likes. The goal is 250. I know you can make it happen if you guys like seeing one-outers. If you guys like $16,200 up top on a weekly tournament, do me a favor and hit the likes for us. Vaughn B, 6-5 suited in the small blind. Going to flat call the button. I think once there was an agreement to the chop, maybe people are looking to get in with some cards now. Seeing a lot more flops. 6 for both players. Shane utterly dominating Vaughn. However, Vaughn's got a backdoor diamond draw. Wouldn't be crazy for Vaughn to call one time. And ships it. Wow. Shipping it in. Let's see all the cards. I have a pair and a ton of equity. Runner. Jason Marlowe, I'm liking the video. Give me a shout out coming to play for the first time at your casino. We're not a casino, just to clarify. We are a social club that you are allowed to play poker in, and we facilitate your doing so. Wow. The jam here going to get Shane to fold the best hand, not willing to stack off with second pair. Tater Nub, I want to sell my like for a shout out to Slug. Not sure I know who that is. Yeah, it's kind of hard to call that off there. Really hard to call that off there. Don't fault the fold by any means. Vaughn chipping up even more. Big stack remains the big stack. Might still be the big stack at the end of all this, but all of it can change in a pinch. Corey-esque King Deuce suited in the small blind. Wouldn't be crazy for him to just ship it in here, and he does. Shane, Queen 10 suited, has to let it go. Vaughn, wouldn't be crazy for him to call off. He's got such a monster stack. And Corey can be getting it in pretty light here, though. He does just have Queen High currently. So no fault on the fold there either. First time managed to watch the stream live. Just want to say thanks for all the awesome content. You are absolutely welcome. Show your appreciation. Like, hit subscribe. That way you can tune into all the cash game content we got going on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, as well as Austin's stream on Sunday, tournament tomorrow, Monday, cash game, and Thursday, cash game. And stay plugged right in. Shane limping in, 9-8 suited. Vaughn completely dominated. And it looks like there's a 9 on the flop. Shane's got a pair, but Vaughn has nothing but an 8 on the turn. Might lose Vaughn a little bit of money. Shane's range still somewhat uncapped on after the flop, so given that he just hit an 8, no shame in letting it go. Makes the correct laydown, as will be most of the time.
The screen behind the table says low battery. Yeah?
4-3 suited on the button. Lets it go. And looks like, not sure what happened. I think maybe we had a misdeal. Slug is Shane. Well, shout out to Shane. Curious how you get a nickname like Slug. Maybe he's just a easygoing, slow-moving fella. I don't know. $30,000, $60,000 blinds. Going to a flop once again. 3. The skinny working out for Corey-esque this time. He's got a pair. Check, check. 10 on the turn. No help. Changes nothing. Probably going to check over to Corey, who looks like he's going to value bet his 3 for the thinnest of values. And oh my God, Vaughn's going nowhere. King on the end. Corey with the check mark. Check, check. And Corey taking it down with a 3, man. Chipping up just a little bit. You love to see that result with bottom pair. Corey has pocket 6 as a small blind. Not crazy to just ship it here. And in fact, he does just that. Shane snap folds the queen 4 offsuits. Getting it done. Pre, not the worst result with pocket 6s.
60. Check the app. Going heads up.
Next hand blind's going to be 40, 80, and 80, guys. 40, 80, 80. They're up next hand.
Okay, about 250 all day.
Shane going to take it down there with just one bet on the flop. Got to fight for all these small pots.
Now chopping to that 5,000. I could be backing up on the 6.
Pocket 10s now for Shane on the button. I think you could go either way, any of the ways except for fold here. Stack's a little deep to ship it, though you do.
Maybe a raise to 250 on the button.
Yeah, too deep to ship it. Oh my god, and Vaughn has ace king. We're going to see an all in here. Corey S. gets out of the way. Shane, this is as snap of a call as it gets for the most part. Though he's taking his time to think it out here. Does he want to play for all of it? And he does. Pocket 10s. Well ahead right now, going up against Big Slick. We are going to a run out here for third place. Let's see if Shane's perfect score can hold up this time. Save flop for the pocket 10s. 10 on the turn. Ace king drawing to a spade. No help on the river. Set of 10's going to take that one down. Huge chip up for Shane. Big gut punch for Mr. Vaughn. Shane going to chip up here, now dominating the rest of the table. Ahead by upwards of $3 million. Fighting for that first place $15,070 payout. Second and third receiving one full stack of high society. Berto says slugging it. Logan Taylor, as you get deeper in tournaments, is it better to be tighter or looser with shoves pre-flop and such? Really depends on a lot of factors. How loose everyone else is at the table, what stack sizes are, what the payout implications are, how many people are left. There's a lot of things to consider, a lot of nuances to consider when deciding to shove in, commit your stack at a final table. Thank you, Captain Under Pairs. Appreciate the kind words, my man. I try to do my best. Of course, we would all prefer to have Ben Kirby here in the booth with me. Sometimes you got to go it solo. And I was up for the challenge. 428 of you now watching. Awesome. Good turnout. Vincent Constantine, yes, they did chop up a little bit of first and second place money. They chopped it up. There was $35,070 left in the prize pool. They did $15,070 to first place up top and $10,000 to third and second place. Thomas Renier, I think, honestly, you got to ship it in with ace king there. And final table, can't fold. Wouldn't even call and see a flop either. Miss a lot of flops. Want to see all 5 cards. Thank you, Quinn, for the nice words once again. We're going to see a ship here. Pocket 8s for Vaughn. Everybody gets pocket 8s. The snowmen are making an appearance. Must be winter. Taking it down. Pre. I'm on tilt, guys. I can't wake up with 2 hands in a row, but I'm on tilt.
I don't think I've ever played on tilt in my entire life. I'm having too much fun so happy to make it this far.
Good payday regardless.
Shane raising it up here. 265, Vaughn. Defends here, 8-7 offsuit. Going heads up to the flop. 8. Vaughn spunking second pair. Shane nothing but 9-3 offsuit and the betting lead. Check, check. Oh no, check all in, excuse me. As Vaughn should be doing here. Anytime you touch the board, when stacks are getting this short and you don't have this many big blinds, you get kind of desperate and you got to ship it in with the equity you have. It's good the vast majority of the time, typically.
Brian, table 14. Yes.
I always jump when there's a rake, but I wasn't sure when there's no rake. There's no rake, so no reason to jump. If you want to make that $2,
Vaughn looks like he is going to raise it up here in the small blind. Oh, excuse me, limp in. He's 5 suited. Corey ships it. And a call from Vaughn. We are running it out, boys and girls. King Deuce suited versus Ace 5 offsuit. It's a race. Outs are live. Everything except hearts. Unless there's 4 of them. Wow, this is actually interesting. 2 hands to go in. Hearts on the board. Let's see what the turn's going to bring us. King Deuce has a ton of outs. Heart on the turn. There it is. Ace still got a chance to come back. Does not happen on the river. Corey S. going to get a clean double through Mr. Vaughn. Vaughn unfortunately going from first to the shortest stack. It happens quickly in tournaments. You are never too safe at a final table when you're only sitting with 20 plus big blinds. Ernest Leonard, I would love to get a vlogger stream going. If you guys know any of the vloggers, Mariano, Rampage, Beast, Poker Beast. We had Brado and Andrew Nemi here, of course, but any of these other guys, Lexo has been here a lot. It's Sam Clark Poker here. Any others that you guys want to get on here, feel free to let them know how crazy the action is down here in Dallas. Just show them any of the last videos that we have in our archive. You can watch all the cash game videos there on TCH homepage. Show them those. I'm sure they'll be clawing their way to get into Dallas. I know they have all frequented other Texas Card House locations. Let's see if they can come to Dallas. Johnny Vibes too. I don't think I said him. Pocket fives, all in, shoves. Corey S, ace, queen, snaps. Shane, 7 deuce offsuits. No. He had live outs, though.
I got it all in good again, so can't really complain.
And here we go. 5s ahead by just a little bit. That hasn't said much recently, though. Fives holding up. No help to the ace queen. They are trading chips back and forth, as is often the case at the end of a tournament. Happens quite a lot. While they get the chips counted out here, we've got a full house tonight. We had up to 24 tables going at one time today. And that is likely because we were doing a high hand promotion every 30 minutes for the whole weekend. $300 high hand promotion every 30 minutes. And they roll over if it does not hit within that half hour. So we've had tons of people trying to get in here and get a piece of it.
That's why I love this game. It'll give you a heart attack on it.
William R. for 1-2, Jason H. for 1-2, Jimmy for 1-2.
It's a good hand, too.
Seth Derrick says, how much longer are you guys running? Until these guys either agree on a chop or we see some all-ins for stacks.
Joe, did you just sit down?
Yeah, Ernest, man, seriously, let them know that we are interested. Andrew and Brad have already been in contact with Ryan and Victor, the GM here. They've been here, of course, as we saw a couple weeks ago. And I'm sure they would be very interested in getting a massive vlogger game going. I think that would be awesome. No promises by any means, but it's definitely a good idea in theory. Schedules are difficult to work with sometimes. Ryan, let's make it happen, man.
Gave you a walk there.
Well, my office was, some people in Newark and some people in Roseland, which is like 20 miles away.
Pez was saying didn't like how Brad Noen capped the 10-20 game. I mean, we wanted to accommodate those guys here. They don't come out for nothing, you know, and wanted to do the best we can to include them as much as possible. We figured Tuesday night was the best night to get on the stream, get them on the stream.
Let's do it. Let's chop it.
For the occasion, I think it's fine. And there it is. Let's do it. Let's chop. But it looks like we're going to keep keep playing out some hands.
Let's chop it up. Let's go.
Alright, we're gonna do
We'll even it out.
three-way chop.
Three-way chop.
Guys, it sounds like we're doing a three-way chop.
Three-way, even Steven.
Yeah, three-way.
Go home. I work 4 days there, 1 day here.
Did you already do the paperwork?
3 days.
Well, you guys still got to fill it out for that, so let's do 35.
Man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. I always love playing poker with you.
Oh, the high-end qualifier. You know, that would be relevant information, wouldn't it? Right now, it's super low. Aces full of jacks. No quads. No quads for the qualifier anyway, but they do qualify. Pocket pair has to hit the board. And guys, it looks like we are going to a three-way chop here. $11,690 to each player. Congratulations.